If you are a longtime reader of Weekly 50 or listener to Weekly 50, you might be getting a sense of deja vu here. This picture might look familiar. You'd have to dig way back to like 2015 or 2016, but this actually is my attempt to directly recreate an image that I took years and years ago. And on the blog, I've got the original image linked to it. And if you're watching this on YouTube, just click the link to the blog and then scroll down and you'll see the link to the original. This is my pocket watch that I got when I got married. My wife and I, my fiance at the time, and I got pocket watches for me and my brothers, who were my best men. And we all have this same pocket watch. And I took a picture of it when I got my close-up filters for my 50mm macro lens years ago, and I was super excited with what I could do with taking close-up photos. And now I wanted to make an improved version. This is like if George Lucas took this, it would be the special edition. And I don't know that I don't want to denigrate the original. I don't want it to sound like I'm like the original is a bad photo, because it's not. It's all a learning process, and I learned a lot over the years about close-up photos, and now I'm learning a lot about lighting. And so I thought, I'm gonna directly not just take a photo that's inspired by the original, but try and redo the original, and that's what you see here. And there's so much to that I don't want to compare it necessarily and say like, well, the original was terrible and so this one's so much better. It's all this spectrum of learning and improving, and I wouldn't have this one at all without the original. So at the risk of sounding too self-critical when I talk about the original, I just want to point out some of the things that I learned and used to make this photo. First of all, you'll notice that the lights here are not colored lights. The past couple weeks, I have used the Pavo tubes, the colored lights, to create the photos, and I tried that here. It did not work. This is a kind of a goldish, silverish pocket watch. It's not an expensive pocket watch, but it's a special pocket watch. And I realized I took a whole bunch of photos with like purples and greens and blues and orange, and it just wasn't working, and I couldn't figure out why. Then I realized I have to use normal white light in order to bring out the natural color of this watch. Rather than try and recolor the watch, just let the watch exist as it is and use lights to accentuate the colors, the yellows and the gold tones of this watch. So that's what I ended up doing. And these lights, you can set a specific color temperature. So I set them all, I think I just had two. I set them all to 2700 Kelvin. So I then could white balance my camera and get pretty much exactly the same shot at the end that in Lightroom that I envisioned in my head and that I saw in live view on my camera. So it was pretty cool to do that. I took a whole bunch of these again after switching to plain white light and realized the focus was off. So then I did it a third time and made sure to nail focus right on the word fossil. Shot this at f16 on my on top of my washing machine, just like the others I've taken. And the part that I really like about this is the highlights on the edge of the top right and the bottom left, where the watch circles around. It's got those bright highlights around the circumference. That's intentional, as is the lighting on the tick marks at the 1 o'clock and 7 o'clock position. Those are all totally intentional by me, using my off-camera lights to create the shot that you see here. I continue to have so much fun with those lights, and I'm basically to the point where I highly recommend them. I'm a little hesitant to just straight up recommend photography gear, but boy, these lights are amazing, and I don't know, they're pretty great. I guess I'll just say that.